Somewhere along the line, there normally comes this point in a gamer's career where they always acknowledge that car racing was a genre, much like shooters, much like puzzle games, or like it's one of those big genres in games that everyone's aware of. But there normally comes this point, for a few people anyway, myself included, where the racing games really get their attention. Racing performs quite well if you look at it in a simplified manner on a computer game, much like shooters. That's why they're big. It just works well, and it's quite encouraging to play it and get better at it. So there comes this point where people normally get interested in car games, or maybe you're a parent or something and someone you know or your kid is getting interested into car games. Which one do we pick? That's what we're going to get into today. And starting off, we'll jump straight into the points of concern for this video. And the first one that we have to really clarify is, what are you looking for? Pretty much it comes down to two things, in my opinion. Have you recently seen a race meeting, circuit racing, the cars were in town in your local city, and you saw racing cars in person or on TV, and you want to mimic that? You want to be on a racetrack, on a circuit, and trying to perfect your lap, compete with others on a set track, and get better and better. The type of finesse to it. Or did you just watch Fast and Furious and you love the sound of blow-off valves and turbos and wide bodies and the biggest wing you could possibly fit on the back of a Skyline? So that's the first question. It's one of two choices. Are you going for ridiculous arcadey fun, or are you going for more of a simulation type feel on a circuit track with the objective of trying to get better and better at every single corner, always chasing that perfect lap that always evades us all? Once you have that consideration out of the way, the next thing we need to discuss is that this video is looking at games in an overall type fashion, an overall racing game, one with many different tracks, many different cars. A good example of one that doesn't fit this rule is F1 2019. A great game, I rate it, I have it, although if you're not into Formula cars, well, you're going to get very sick of it because it's the only thing you can do in the game. So games like that, I'm not going to really compare within this video. But with that said, let's jump into it. I'm pretty much just going to list my two recommendations, one from an arcade standpoint, one from a more of a serious standpoint. Give you a little review quote from people that have reviewed the game before and my take on it and why you should play it. On the PS4, there is two titles that I want to bring to the more realistic standpoint that is pretty much a toss-up, and that's why I'm going to give you two options. Released in 2017, both of these titles is Gran Turismo Sport, October 17, 2017, that launched. And the other alternative is Project Cars 2, the first actual game I started with on computer. That was released on 22nd September 2017. Arch rivals almost, releasing very, very similar times. Gran Turismo Sport is one that I would rate a little bit higher, and that's just because it has always been the PlayStation exclusive built for consoles, and seeing as we're talking about the PlayStation 4, I'll go with that one. I started on Gran Turismo 3, I believe. It was 2 or 3. I know it was a number orientated next to it, and it was on the PlayStation 3. And funnily enough, I wasn't massive into cars at that stage. I grew up with motorcycles and racing them, but with the car game, I remember I did a 12-hour race by myself. I think 2 nights, it was on a weekend. I had to pause it overnight, go to sleep, wake up and continue on. And I won the race. I don't think it was on a very hard difficulty. But the fact is, I've dedicated 12 hours of my time to it. And I don't think I've acknowledged how much I actually was interested in these car games. Gran Turismo offers things like that. And said by Gaming Trend, there's an overflowing beauty, grace, playability, and presence with Gran Turismo. The different cars provide a wealth of fun and unique challenges. Compared to other games, I think they trimmed back the amount of content, so to speak, and really refined what they had, making it a very good entry into the Gran Turismo universe. Now, I haven't played this game myself, but I was in Japan at a car massive expo. They do it every 2 years down in Odaiba below or near Tokyo. Massive event, and I stumbled across the technology center area and they had an esports tournament on. I caught the last 20 minutes or so, and Gran Turismo, as an esports sense, is full on. That's why I've rated it slightly higher than Project Cars 2, even though Project Cars 2 reviews a little bit higher in its critics score, if that matters at all to you. Project Cars 2, awesome game. As said by IGN in the Italia region, IGN Italia, the ultimate driving experience for the true racing and car lovers. Unmissable, even on consoles. So it was built for PC, I believe, transferred over consoles, and really does try and simulate a little bit more. I believe the Gran Turismo doesn't have a cockpit view, and if that's a deal breaker for you, then Project Cars 2 is the choice here. But much of a muchness, Gran Turismo Sport really pushing that esports scene. So, I mean, if you get good at it, you might be up on the stage competing in the next tournament. As for arcade games, Need for Speed Heat is my clear recommendation here. Released on 8th of November 2019, it is the newest car game to come to the PlayStation 4 shelves, and there is lots of YouTube views still going on this game. There's one YouTuber, he just does a lot of different playthroughs of different games. He has released 60 episodes of this game, getting a car, fixing it up, driving around, doing different challenges with it. Obviously bringing a lot of views to continually make 60 episodes of a playthrough of this game. It means there's enough content to keep it interesting. Player base is big, there's going to be lots to do. It's a clear winner for me in this kind of arcade genre, because everyone knows what Need for Speed is. The best from the Need for Speed franchise, along with Night Racing, which is a new addition, I believe, into the genre, or into the lineup of Need for Speed games. We have Need for Speed Heat or Project Cars 2 / Gran Turismo Sport. Project Cars 2, if you're on a budget, would be cheaper than the Gran Turismo, I would suggest. But with that said, that is my recommendations. No, I didn't go through every title in a knockout sequence and showing you why I recommend those titles, but if you come here, you wanted a video that just said, get this game, here's why. Hopefully I ticked that box. Need for Speed is a game that everyone can have a lot of fun on, whether you're into simulation or not. It is ridiculous in its customization. It is ridiculous in how the car handles and how you rip it into drifts. It is ridiculous in cop chases, but it all makes a big title that is a lot of fun to play for everyone. That said, if you want more realism, you want to perfect a craft almost, then you have Gran Turismo Sport to go to in my recommendation, just because they're really going for that ease into simulation, whereas anyone can play it, even me when I was a young teenager, but it still offers the ability to get better and better. And then you might even, next thing you know, you're onto the PC where the real sophisticated titles are, and that will be a video coming up very soon going into the PC titles I recommend to get when it comes to racing games if you're new to the scene, as well as an Xbox entry. Thanks heaps for watching, guys. Be sure to reply with any comments in the description below, and I will answer them. If you need any more information or anything, ask away. I'm just here to help and get you into the racing scene, because we need all the more people into the racing genre. Yeah, it does all good, positive things. More money to the scene, more games will be made, more competition. It's all good news. I will see you guys next time.